Hello, fifth graders, and welcome to Unit 5, which is a geometry unit. However, you'll see that I've started with a picture of some symbols on a clock, and you might want to check and see if the clock is accurate. And I think it's interesting, they've used all nines to create this clock. And so again, you might want to pause the video and look and see if the answers are accurate. How can you use nines to create all of the necessary digits on a clock? So as we continue, the learning targets for Lesson 5.1 are that you will be able to draw and measure angles to the nearest degree, and that you will identify and classify angles according to their size. So you're going to be measuring angles and you'll be drawing angles. Some key vocabulary for you to learn: a right angle, a straight angle, an acute and an obtuse angle, a reflex angle, and the vertex. So here are a couple of angles that I drew. First of all, the vertex is the point at which the two rays meet. So each of these would be a ray. A ray has an end point and a point that goes on forever, and the point at which the two rays meet is called the vertex. We can label angles by letters. They can have a one-letter name. For example, this could be angle A. This is the angle symbol, and then this one is called angle A. I can also label angles with three letters. So I could label this angle as X, Y, Z, and it would have two names. I could name it again by its vertex, angle Y, or by three-letter names, X, Y, Z, with that vertex point being in the middle. So we've got our vertex and two different ways to label angles. So we're going to talk about acute and obtuse angles. So I'm going to start my angle and I'm going to stop it. I can zoom in, and if I look at my protractor, I see that this angle is about 58 degrees. So I'm going to enter my measurement, and a 58-degree angle is an acute angle. I'll check it. I have the correct answer. Again, I looked at the measurement and I chose acute. An acute angle is an angle whose measurement is less than 90 degrees, but more than 0 degrees. So I'm going to reset. And now I'm going to start my angle movement. I'm going to stop. I'm going to zoom in, and it looks like I have a 120-degree angle. So I'm going to enter my measurement. And a 120-degree angle is obtuse. I have the correct answer. An obtuse angle is one whose measurement is greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180. So we are now going to talk about reflex and non-reflex angles. If I start my angle measurement, I'm going to stop it here. First of all, I've created an obtuse angle. It's greater than 90 degrees. It is less than 180. I'm going to zoom in, and it looks like it is 103. It is a non-reflex angle. There I am, 103, non-reflex. Reset, start. The hardest part of this is stopping it at a particular place. So I've gone from an acute angle to a right angle to an obtuse angle to, all right. So now I'm going to look, and it looks like I am at 233. Let's see if I'm right. Let's check. All right, so this time I've made a reflex angle. A reflex angle is going to be greater than our 180-degree straight angle. So here we go. This would be an obtuse angle, and the reflex angle is the angle around the outside. So a reflex angle is going to be an angle. To draw the reflex angle, we're going to draw an angle whose measure is 360 degrees, which is that full circle, minus the measure of the reflex angle. So here's this outer piece. All right, so I've drawn a reflex and a non-reflex angle. And now I see the 4 vocabulary words. 1, I can make an acute angle. I'm going to type in a degree measurement here. Let's have a 35 degree. I want to make an acute angle. I'm going to make it 35 degrees. Nope, a little more. I made it a little farther than that, 62 degrees, but still an acute angle. An acute angle, as we see, is less than 90. Reset. Now we're going to make my right angle. I didn't have to start or stop it. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. I'm going to make an obtuse angle. And again, it started past 90 degrees. It stopped right here at 124. And now I'm going to make a reflex angle, which started past 180. And in this case, our reflex angle is 283 degrees, all of this pink area. So you saw an example of an acute, a right, an obtuse, and a reflex angle. Now, angle measurements can be made from this direction or from this direction. Like on the first page where I showed you an angle. I'm going to make this angle is a 4-degree angle. And if I drag this, it's a 52-degree angle. They are both acute angles. One started from this direction, and on this protractor, we'd be looking at the outer scale of measurement. This one started from the other direction. We'd be looking at the inner measurement. A good rule of thumb is to look at your angle and decide, is it acute or obtuse? Because then this will help you decide which scale you're going to be looking at. When we look at this angle, we can see it's acute. So we know that we're going to be looking at this inner scale, 50 degrees, rather than that outer scale, 130 degrees. We know it is not that much. See if it'll allow me to pull it over to here. Now I've got a 130-degree angle. I'm looking at that inner scale. Again, I can see it's an obtuse angle, more than 90 degrees. And if I do the same thing on this top one, I've got a 102-degree angle. Again, greater than 90 degrees. I'm going to be able to tell what scale I'm looking from. And then we've got our full circle protractor, which we use very often to do reflex angles. All right. And again, you can see how it's going to open an acute angle in most 90-degree angle, an obtuse angle, a straight angle, which is 180 degrees, and a reflex angle, that outer portion, and you can see the line drawn right there. So we have some nice tools on our SMART lesson for this. And the last thing is when we need to draw an angle ourselves, the first thing I want to do is get my line tool, and I want to make my bottom line. That's going to be my straight line. All right, and I'm going to get my measurement tool, my protractor, And I'm going to pull it down here so that this is right on my vertex. All right. And let's say I want to make a, waiting for my pen here, I want to make a 70-degree angle. I'm going to put a mark right there so I know where 70 degrees is. Okay. Then I'm going to delete my protractor. I'm going to take my line tool again, and I'm going to make my line go right to that point. And now I've drawn a 70-degree angle. I can get my pen tool to make the arrows. I can label my angle. I'm going to label it B for Baglien. Okay. If I want to check my measurement, I can get that protractor tool, whoops, and I can move it. And I can see that I've made a 70-degree angle. I always want to check and be sure that my angle is accurate. So first lesson, lesson 5.1, making and drawing angles and measuring angles.